Hey guys, welcome back to the Minor Saving Podcast. Today I am going to be joined by your boy Sky.
Hey, that's me.
And nobody else. Because
yeah, this is it. This is all you're getting.
Zendals is on vacation. And we also didn't get a guest on so it's just going to be a nice friendly banter with me, Cryog, and our co-host Sky.
Yeah, a nice cozy little two-person podcast.
That puts ideas in my head that I do not want to say.
Wait. You can't just mention it and then not say anything.
Anyways,
hey, no. What
we are talking about Miners Haven, Sandbox.
Ryan, don't just brush past this. I gotta know what was in your head now.
No. Not,
hey,
at least here.
Listen, you at least gotta DM it to me or something. Guys, when you
we're just gonna be talking about Miners Haven Sandbox Tycoon games. Well, Miners Haven modded games, Miners Haven base games, Miners Haven light games, whatever you want to call them. They're all.
We're talking about MH ripoffs.
MH ripoffs, MH clones that should not exist.
Yeah, well, some of them maybe.
It all started when Bereza thought it was the beautiful idea to make Miners Haven open source.
Well, no. It didn't start with
true.
that. It started back in 2016 when a little fellow named Tunicus saw Miners Haven and thought, hey, I can do that. And then they made Mining Madness.
Which actually was very popular. I don't remember how popular it got, but I played it. I didn't get off my first life in that game because that game actually was kind of hard. And I know everybody who's watching this is probably going to say, what? No, you suck at the game. That's you just have a skill issue. But honestly, that was back in 2016. My skills in Miners Haven wasn't the greatest.
Yeah, that was back then. That was after I had kind of gotten to the point where I was decent at regular MH. It was still challenging enough. It had a pretty slow first life. I remember it taking a good amount of time to get out of it, but
yeah,
dude, I love Mining Madness so much. I had so much fun playing that.
Yeah, and then if you go on the game now, it's just it's a ghost town. There's nothing to do. It's just it's so empty. It feels old.
It feels ancient.
It does. And that's
it feels everything feels super outdated and archaic feels like the right word for it.
Archaic.
Which obviously nothing against Mining Madness. It just hasn't been updated and modernized with a lot of the same things that Miners Haven has been.
Yeah. By the way, guys, I know Sky is using big words. Archaic means very old or ancient. That's where archaic comes from. Okay.
What are you giving them the definitions for? Make them Google it or.
And also, very old means that you go in the past. It's in the past.
What are you, Krog?
Oh God.
You're explaining to the viewers what old means.
Well,
what are we doing
someone
here?
Out there that might not know what old means.
I doubt they're watching this podcast.
Well, I'm trying to be inclusive here. Okay.
Well, to be fair, a lot of the people watching this have never experienced actually being old because they've been around for less than 7 years. So,
not that I don't think people watching this podcast. I think we have a lot of. It's actually a very large range. There's no. It cuts off probably after 25 or something like that. And then
yeah, but there's that one 25-year-old who's interested in MH who watches the podcast and that's it.
I once had in my YouTube analytics say oh yeah, you got a 50-plus-year-old watching your content.
That's someone using their dad's account though.
Yeah,
1,000%.
Yeah, definitely. Either that or it's somebody just lying on their age, which a lot of people do.
Yeah, you cannot trust the analytics for our audience because it's the amount of people who lie about their age is insane.
Yeah.
Like, I guarantee the average age of our audience is way lower than what it would say on the analytics.
Yeah, I mean,
guaranteed.
Yeah, I mean, according to Steam, my birthday is January 24th, 1997.
Yep.
So
Dude,
it's yeah.
It's been so nice, like, actually becoming an adult and not having to lie about my age when I sign up to stuff now.
Yes.
Like, that's genuinely... Yeah, it's a great feeling when you can just actually put your birthday and you don't even have to think about it.
Yeah.
It's one of those, like, weird things that you wouldn't really think about, but it's been one of the best feelings of being an adult. It's just like, I can just sign up for this. I'm just like, I'm an adult.
Yeah, I'm just like gamer like that.
I'm just gamer.
I'm just
that's me.
I won the game of life. Bro, Life, the board game, is a really good game actually. I really enjoyed Life.
Is it? I have heard from my roommate. I've heard from my roommate that it is a terrible game.
Okay, to be fair, it's kind of a little like, you know.
Isn't it like from the way he described it, it's like you get a job in the game, and whoever gets the best job early on
wins.
Pretty much wins the game. Yeah. Which actually, in a way, is a very good critique of modern capitalism in America. But
let's not get to that. It's like Monopoly. If you're the first person to get Boardwalk, you're going to win. Basically.
Yeah, basically.
I mean
Monopoly
you're
started.
You're gonna win.
Monopoly also started off as like a critique of capitalism.
Oh yeah, it still is. It's an absolute critique of capitalism. It actually.
Maybe in the actual game, but then also Hasbro has taken it and sold it in 500 different
What's so
versions.
funny about it? It's so ironic. It's supposed to be a sign of how bad capitalism, like not how bad, but like the critique of capitalism, of like what the problems are. But then Hasbro is just like, no, we can
profit off of this.
We can do exactly what it says. That's the problem about capitalism.
It works very well as a critique in both senses.
Yeah.
Which is mining madness, everyone.
Yeah, which like other games, like, you know, board games, they're similar to computer games, and like computer games like Sandbox Tycoons. They're computer games, and there's like a super like simple like there's like kind of genre in Sandbox Tycoon called Miners Haven knockoffs, Miners Haven copies, Miners Haven clones, Miners Haven copycats, Miners Haven whatever, Miners Haven whatchamacallits, you know?
Yeah. They're trying to do like an actual transition.
I tried. Did I succeed? No. Anyways.
Definitely not, especially after I mentioned it and you went back to board games and then brought it back to Mining Madness.
You see, I had it in my brain to transition, then you decided to transition, and then I decided to go back and then transition again.
What a wonderful podcast we run here.
Oh yeah, definitely. And
hey, since we're talking about like capitalism and stuff, though, in Mining Madness, one of my absolute favorite features of that game, the thing that like really made me love it, is the Tunium marketplace. You remember that? Actually, you never got past your first life. You said.
Well, I think I did one life.
Yeah, either way, there was effectively like a player-ran marketplace where you could, for the premium currency of the game was Tunium, and you could effectively like buy and sell any like of the rebirth items and some of the like collectibles and stuff.
Which that's actually a really good idea.
It was this really cool feature where you had like there were no set prices or anything. It was all like player set prices. So whatever people were willing to pay for items, that's what they sold for.
Yeah, you gotta be very careful with that, because if anything's dupable in that game, it's gone.
Yeah, that's true.
All that marketplace is done for.
Yeah, if you get a dupe for like any items, then it's going to kill the value of everything. But
Yeah.
that never happened, I don't think.
I don't think so.
There were a lot of items that were like, you could sell them on the marketplace, but they were like easily obtainable. Like a lot of the common rebirth items sold for nothing.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was cool, and they also had a nice solution to like stopping people from just buying all the OP items and like pay to winning. Because I'm pretty sure it was like stuff was still life locked, so you could buy a rebirth item, but you couldn't use it until you met the life requirement for it.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. And then...
Because that I think is a good solution, because you can't just buy like a super overpowered upgrader and get carried. But then once you get up to the life that you can actually start getting that item, you can, if you need more of it, you don't have to just rely on RNG. You can just go and buy it.
Yeah. And in a sense, it's just the same as like the Steam marketplace with CSGO.
With like skins and stuff.
Yeah, CSGO.
Except this stuff is like, first of all, it sells for in-game currency, which is a little bit different. But then it also is like actually useful. You're like buying stuff that's going to benefit you, which isn't the case in CSGO.
Yeah.
It was really cool though.
You're telling me that buying that knife in CSGO
buying that $15,000 knife
does not give me a statistical advantage?
My stat track factory new emerald butterfly knife, yeah.
I don't know. I got like one skin on CSGO, and I think it was just like a Dune shotgun, or whatever, dust shotgun. I don't know, whatever, like a sand dune shotgun that I got from like the end of the match reward. It sells for 3 cents.
Very cool. I've opened a few cases. I think the best I got was a pink, which is not bad. Having opened less than 50 cases ever.
Yeah, and then Payday 2. Oh my god, Payday 2. Every single skin is 3 cents except for like 2, which are like $20. And you can only get 1 skin a day.
Oh god.
Yeah, it's really bad how it works. And if you just hack the game, you just give yourselves all the skins for free. But you can't trade them. You can't trade them.
Yeah, that makes.
So the skin system is just completely, like, the skin marketplace in Payday 2 is completely just dead. It's just bad. It's worthless. But yeah, anyways,
yeah, it makes
back
sense.
to Miners Haven, or Sandbox Tycoons in this case. Another one of my favorite Sandbox Tycoon games was Mining Mechanical Ascension. Not Mining.
Dude, Mechanical Ascension was like that was the main one that came right after Mining Madness, right?
I don't. Productive
Industries.
Industries.
Because at least Productive Industries probably preceded it, but that game is like in its own kind of league, I think.
Yeah, it's like you can't even really compare it to Miners Haven, because sure, it has similar aspects, and people from Miners Haven went onto that game to play it, but Productive Industries, in its own sense, is its own completely different style of game. It's still a Sandbox Tycoon, but it's loosely a Sandbox Tycoon.
It's not loosely a Sandbox Tycoon,
well, it's
but
loosely
it's like
a Miners Haven style Sandbox Tycoon, I should say. It's not.
Yeah, because you can like make vague comparisons to Miners Haven, but it doesn't go much beyond like it has upgraders and like droppers and furnaces.
Yeah.
Past that, there's so many other like mechanics and stuff that game has going for it.
Yeah, it's like
I was never able to get into Productive Industries personally.
I got semi-far and I got bored of it just because, like, energy in that game, like, I just didn't get how it worked, so I never was, so I just kind of just stopped at one point and I was like, I can't get enough energy. So yeah.
My apologies, by the way. My roommate is playing GTA right now, and he is. I told him that we were recording before we started recording. He does not care, apparently. He does not care.
But yeah.
It's fine. It's fine. Yeah. The podcast viewers can deal with a little bit of background noise.
Oh yeah.
Hang on. Let me go yell at him real quick.
Yell at him.
I DM'd him all caps. Shut up. So hopefully that'll get the message through to them.
Oh yeah, definitely, for sure. But yeah, anyways.
Yeah, there we go.
Productive Industries was pretty good.
Mid game.
No, I wouldn't say
mid game actually.
It was just it's hard to get into it.
It was hard to get into. I don't have any problems with the game. I don't know. It seems like it was relatively well made. Certainly not the prettiest looking game, but
yeah,
well made.
UI,
good for what it does. I couldn't get into it.
Yeah. Then comes like probably one of my favorite Miners Haven style games, Mechanical Ascension. I love that game.
Sorry.
What?
Yeah, I loved it. I love Mechanical Ascension too. Sorry, my roommate DM'd me saying sorry, they destroyed my house. I assume they're on Minecraft now.
Yeah.
Apparently my guy's house got destroyed.
Absolutely demolished. Abolished, oh my god. Demolished and abolished, I don't know.
That's you know what? That's fine. He can be as loud as he wants when his house gets destroyed. Jesus Christ.
As long as it doesn't affect you, because I mean you're in the same house.
He means I walk out of my room and the house is just totaled.
It's only your room left. It's just that's
our apartment is just gone. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah.
Okay, sorry for that little interruption there.
Yeah. But Mechanical Ascension, I remember getting into it and going like, man, this game good. And then they were like, haha, layouts, remove.
Well, hey, no, they didn't do that with the original Mechanical Ascension.
No, Mechanical Ascension, when you went on Nightmare mode, I played on Nightmare mode. That's what I played on.
Oh god. Oh, why did you play it on Nightmare mode?
Oh, I used to play on easy mode. Well, that was before modes were a thing, but when they brought out modes, I was like, Nightmare mode all the way. And then
why?
What happened is that like I was just like, God, this is pretty hard. This is just boring. And then they were like, by the way, removing layouts. And I was just like, okay, you just killed the game for me.
Yeah, I never played the game on like Nightmare difficulty or whatever.
I'm still on the leaderboard. Still on the leaderboard.
I think I'm number 2 on the normal leaderboard still.
Oh wow.
For OG MA. I got on the leaderboard like way after the lifespan of the game. Like before MAX and everything was even like announced, I went back and started playing MA again. And I grinded up on the normal leaderboard, got up to either number 1 or number 2. I don't think I ended up actually passing the number 1 guy, like Gromtiel or whatever his name is. Hang on. Yeah, Gromtiel. According to this screenshot that was sent to me like a month or 2 ago, I was number 2nd. I'm 18,011, and he's 18,300.
Oh my gosh, that's actually really close.
So yeah, I got real close. I could probably go and play it now and get the number 1 because I doubt Gromtiel is still playing MA.
Oh yeah,
if I had to guess.
I think it says that there's 0 people on right now, and
that would track.
I think MAX has 1 person on right now, so.
Dude, MAX. When we get to MAX, oh boy, what a tragedy that game was.
Oh, it's just so sad. But
the original MA never had like a big tragic like arc to it. It just kind of like fizzled out eventually.
Yeah, I mean,
it ran its course and got updates until it just stopped being supported. Which honestly,
updates.
I think
it for me, but.
Yeah, I think what happened to original MA was probably better than what happened to MAX.
Yeah, but with MA, I was just like kind of like going like, oh, once they removed layouts, I was like, okay, I'm done with this game. I'm done.
Yeah, I never got that from Nightmare. I think that it is cool that the game did the difficulty thing. Like as far as I'm aware, it's the only like sandbox tycoon that's attempted really to have a difficulty system like
There's
that.
another one coming out soon that I can't speak much about, but it will have difficulties.
Okay.
And you yeah.
You good?
That I will make an experience video on that, probably. And
whenever it comes out,
record a video on that probably as well. And you know I'm going to play the hardest difficulty.
Yep, I probably will not. So,
I just feel like no pain, no gain, you know?
yeah, of course.
I always play on some of the hardest difficulties when I play games.
Yeah, see, for me, the problem with that, like I appreciate the inclusion of a difficulty type thing for these games, but the way that it's been implemented, or the way that I've seen it in like MA and MAX and stuff, it's just not well implemented.
That is true.
Like I like the fact that there's an option, but I don't really know what the solution to this is, but it's just kind of like the game is just more tedious when it gets harder. Yeah, it's not like genuine difficulty necessarily.
Like,
it just
can't
takes
really
longer.
do that on a sandbox tycoon. It's just going to make it tedious no matter what you really do.
I don't think there's a way to like genuinely increase the difficulty.
Yeah, that's like the problem with gaming in general. Is like a lot of games struggle to make a game difficult and not make it tedious. Like you could say that Black Ops 3, you know, in zombies was just like, it was good, it was fine, it was difficult sometimes, it was actually really easy. Never mind. But then Black Ops 4 decided, okay, you no longer have a jug, and then it didn't make it difficult, it just made it tedious. Because you would down more often, and it didn't even have quick revive. Well, it did have quick revive, it just didn't do its effect anymore.
I mean, yeah, but you still, when you were playing single player, you still had downs.
Yeah,
you still effectively had QR.
You only had 2 though, right?
Yeah, I think on most of the maps they gave you a way to get more.
Yeah, but I just feel like it's just like gaming in general has struggle with harder difficulties.
It's hard to add just like a slider to make the game more hard.
It's
because with a lot of stuff,
it's very subjective too.
Yeah, some of the best like hard modes for games are like the example that comes to my mind. I remember seeing this a while ago. Resident Evil 7 has a really good like difficulty change.
Yeah.
Because you've got like the original difficulty. I think the scale up does make enemies a little bit more tough, if I remember correctly. It makes like the boss fights and stuff a little bit like tankier, I think. But it also like changes the locations of everything.
Yes. Like
all of the items and collectibles and stuff that you need are like in different spots. So it changes how you have to play the game. It like changes where enemies spawn in and like switches up the encounters. So when you play easy mode versus like the harder difficulty, you're getting a legitimately different experience that's a little more challenging because they don't give you the same items, or they give you stuff in different spots and things that you don't expect.
Yeah,
which is not really something that you can do for a sandbox tycoon game.
Yeah, like, I mean, Phasmophobia is a great example. That's like, when you go on, like, if you're on the easiest difficulty, amateur, it's like, everything's open to you. You have all the hiding spots. You have the ghost, you know, gives you some free, you get, I think, 5 minutes, 5 or 10 minutes. No, I think it's 5 minutes of free time to set up your stuff and not get hunted and killed. And then when you go to intermediate, it decreases that time. Some of the hiding spots are blocked off, and the ghost is a little bit more aggressive sometimes. Then when you go into professional, you get no grace period at all at the beginning of the game. And then there's less hiding spots, and the ghost is the hunts last longer, and the ghost just is very aggressive. Then Nightmare, you get, one of the evidence is hidden, so you have to actually test what the ghost is by having it hunt, do special unique stuff like that. And
yeah, that seems fun,
and it's very unique. I've never really seen it before in a game, and especially since the ghost in Nightmare could kill numerous players, so you can get in the house and it hunts and it can kill every player in the server, and then you lose the match.
Yeah, that seems like a good way to do difficulty, where it like, especially the last one where it like scales up to where you have to like let the ghost hunt to try and like get intel on what it actually is. That seems fun. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, there are some yucky stuff about it because Nightmare, some of the ghosts are literally impossible to test, so you kind of just have to guess sometimes.
Yeah, that seems like
but they're doing their best to
great
fix
side
it.
effect.
And especially with adding new ghosts. When they ever add new ghosts, they added a new ghost that literally knows where you are at every single given moment. You cannot hide from it. You can only run from it. And it's such a unique ghost that it's such a unique thing that no other ghost has it, and it's super easy to test for because, well, if you just have to let it hunt, and if you're in a line of sight and it's slow, then you're good because it will be slow, so that you can actually run away from it. Because you're not faster than the ghost in Phas. So.
Yeah.
By the way, we were talking about Miner's Haven games. We got a little sidetracked there talking about difficulty.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. There's not really a good way to scale difficulty. I like the idea of trying to include like a difficulty slider type thing for like Mechanical Ascension, but it just doesn't work.
Yeah, difficulty also applies to Miner's Haven in some sense. Like Third Sacrifice.
I think Third Sacrifice does it right. I think Third Sacrifice does it right for this type of game though. You can't just have like a slider, but it's like it kind of naturally steps things up. Like there are gonna be things that are locked to you. You're not gonna be able to get like easy items. You're not gonna be able to get like carried through the early game as effectively, and it's gonna be a higher rebirth price, but it's not like tedious to get to. It just requires you to use more of the shop.
Yeah, it just and it's just like Miner's Haven actually scales in general. Really, like it goes from like first non-sacrifice, which is like it's just the normal base game. It's just normal, and then first sacrifice super easy, just because you have the ultimate sacrifice. That's kind of a discontinuity of the difficulty in Miner's Haven because it's normal, then it gets easy, and then it gets harder, and then it gets harder.
Yeah, it definitely. The way the sacrifices are in right now definitely kind of mess with the early game difficulty. That's not really a fault of like modern day MH balance stuff. That's just like poor implementation of the second sacrifice.
Second sacrifice, yeah, like it was just normal base game until you got to life 10 and then just easy.
Yeah, and it's just like it was added too soon. There should have been like some scaling with it too. Like you should have had to go to 1,000 for first and then like maybe 5,000 for second sacrifice.
Yeah, probably.
Because then you actually have to do like a little bit of progression instead of just getting up to 1K.
Like what if they did it so that, in Miner's Haven, to do the first sacrifice, you just have to get 1,000 lives, but in second sacrifice, you had to get to 5,000 and also do the Void Maze. And then in third sacrifice, you have to do the Heart of the Void and get to 10,000. Kind of do it so that it
steps up. Because right now it just kind of like it's easy, and then it jumps up suddenly.
Yeah.
I think that would be a good change. Make it so that you have to do the Void Maze. Maybe not the Void Maze. I don't know how
you need the Diagelar. You need the Diagelar, Void Star, and Eternal Limbo. You could probably get that by 5K if you tried hard enough. If you didn't skip.
Though that seems like it would be a little bit much to get by 5K.
That is true. But like, what it'd be like. It'd be harder. I mean, maybe like do something else because like do something else for it. But who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. Still, the idea of that's still good. At least just having to get up to 5K at least. Because then you have to like do a bit of the progression, and the items that you unlock by doing the first sacrifice actually become useful to you.
Yeah, like there could be like some sort of like special thing tied because it feels to every single sacrifice because it feels weird that our sacrifice has Heart of the Void, but none of the other sacrifices have anything. So I feel like maybe like say for example, I'm just gonna use like what we have now. It could be completely different, or like it's probably not gonna be added, but like just an idea, thought. Like first sacrifice, what you have to do is you have to beat John Doe in the Coliseum, and then for second sacrifice you do the Void Maze, like I was saying, and then third sacrifice you do Heart of the Void. Like, that could be interchanged with different stuff. You can make stuff for it, you could do other stuff. That could be interesting, maybe a way of doing it.
Yeah, I think that would be good, because it means you have to do, like, some of the extra side stuff of the game that isn't just setup building.
Like, it could be a sense of progression and a sense of story, almost like. And it's like, because it only unlocks the Coliseum at 1,000, only unlocks the Void Maze at 5,000, only unlocks the Heart of the Void at 10,000.
Yeah, it could be cool. Like, once you get up to 1,000, it, like, gives you some kind of notification that, like, okay, you have access to the Coliseum now. And then you're like, I wonder what that is. You go and find that. Or you go do the Coliseum, you come back, and you see, oh, wow, what is this ultimate sacrifice thing? You do that, and it's like, okay, now you're back to life 1, but you've got this crazy powerful upgrader.
Yeah, it's almost like a game progression where you beat the game and you restart. It's like a new game plus, almost. Without the new game plus. Because new game plus
until you get to
that you have all your gear still. All your stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it effectively becomes new game plus at life 100, though.
Basically.
Yeah, it could be cool if, like, from first sacrifice, you get your stuff back at, like, 100, and then you've got to go up to 5k, and then...
Second sacrifice, 1,000. Third sacrifice, Grimstruck Challenge.
Yeah. So I definitely think after third sacrifice gets released, there should be, like, a second sacrifice rebalancing, like, patch that comes out.
Yeah, that'd be something that you definitely have to do after third sacrifice. Just, like, plan on...
of course.
You do another update and, like, still continue updating the game, because they're... I think they're planning on still updating the game, but no more major updates. Like maybe just make a quality of life thing and do that. Yeah,
that definitely would be nice to get that second sacrifice pass, but finish first or third sacrifice first.
Yeah.
Get that all knocked out and, like, really, like I want them to spend the time on third sacrifice making sure everything is balanced and everything works for third sacrifice.
Third sacrifice has to be perfect for it to be...
I don't think it has to be perfect, but I think it has to be...
What I mean by that is that it has to be, like, you know, not a complete dumpster fire like Reincarnation was.
Yeah, it has to be like a passable update.
Like Reincarnation,
like, break anything.
Some
big.
people like Reincarnation. I didn't like
Reincarnation. I am some people. I
did not like
Reincarnation a lot.
I thought it just had too many promises that were broken in it. I felt like, you know, Foxy wanted to be Foxy. It felt like Foxy wanted Reincarnation to be the third sacrifice update, almost, because it just felt like he planned out so much but did so little. It fell flat, in my opinion.
Yeah, there were a lot of things. It didn't fall flat for me because there was so much that got added in that update still.
Yeah.
Like the new map and all the new content and stuff. I wasn't looking for anything more than that. I got pretty much what I expected from the update.
I feel
I was happy with it personally.
If Reincarnation had everything that it did when Reincarnation came out, and it had everything that from the, I don't know, probably Midnight Obama update and before, then it probably would have been like the ultimate update that would have been up to what, like, the whole community wanted. Even though that's very, you know, bad, because that's very high standards.
Yeah, didn't the Midnight Obama update came out like way after Reincarnation? It did. Right? Yeah, that would be way too much in one.
It was like August, I think, of 2020. So like,
yeah, that in my opinion later would be, yeah, that would be way too much in my opinion.
Yeah. And
I think that all things considered, Reincarnation was actually like a pretty good sized update.
Yeah,
I think they struck that balance of, like, they gave us a lot of content. There was a lot of stuff to go for in that update. There were a lot of like a lot of the stuff was really hard to get because there was like a lot of rare items that you had to grind for. Like I remember trying to get the Dreamer's Blights before they changed the rarity on them, and before they reworked Advanced Reborns back to being more similar to what they are now.
Yeah, but in my opinion, Reincarnation just felt like it wasn't ready. It just felt like it could have had a little bit more content if like they just waited a little bit. Like maybe if they like waited until the Trinity, like add the Trinity stuff, then it would have felt more bombastic almost.
I don't think it needed more content though. I think it just needed more time to be polished, personally.
Like, yeah, that's what I was meaning by that. Not content-wise. I was meaning polish, almost.
Yeah, it definitely needed more polish.
Like, I'm sorry, but the testers don't... I feel like the testers really let Reincarnation fall.
Well, I don't know if it was necessarily the testers' faults. I mean, I'm sure... I obviously don't know what the testing looks like, but I'm sure they were, like, working pretty hard to try and, like, find whatever issues that they could. But with an update the size of Reincarnation, you're not going to be able to find...
Yeah, you're not going to be able to find all
issues.
of them, but some of the issues that we got in Reincarnation were kind of, like, how was that never caught? Like,
there were some pretty significant things.
The issue where you could get Havium Mine from the Catalyst of Thunder. I've never, by the way, I have never ever gotten the Catalyst of Earth because I just use the Catalyst of Thunder.
I never used that bug. I got it legit.
Yeah, the thing is that, like, I didn't even know. I was like, oh, cool, I can get 2 superstitious items from this one catalyst. And, like, I didn't even cross my mind that was a bug. I thought that's just how Reincarnation worked. But
yeah,
it later came out that they fixed it, and I was like, oh, how was that not caught? How was that not caught in the testing phase?
That is something pretty significant that probably should have been noticed. But
yeah, and that just like kind of confuses me because Third Sacrifice is way bigger, and like there's so much more that the testers have to do to make sure that this update is up to standard of what a Miners Haven big update should be, and just I don't know if there are some very obvious stuff that were missed, then it's just like it makes you wonder, do the testers like test? Because there's a lot of updates in Miners Haven history that make you wonder, do the testers actually test? Was this ever, QA tested?
Yeah, and I'm sure a lot of that comes down to the testers just not having enough time because updates need to be like pushed out. And then also, the testers are just players of Miners Haven.
They don't get paid.
Selected.
They're just there because they like playing Miners Haven. But they also have to realize that they are the people who make sure that the game is polished so that the update can also be, great for everybody. It can be a great product for everybody else.
Yeah, but like you said, they don't get paid or anything.
They don't get paid.
They just do it because they want to.
But the thing is that it's not really a volunteer thing. It's a selection thing where you have to apply to it. So you have to be very aware that you're not being paid and you are like the future, like you hold the ability to determine whether or not an update is polished or not because you're the tester. You're the one who needs to test bugs, make sure that stuff gets fixed. Well, tell the devs to fix stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure there are also, like, I don't remember any specifics, but I have heard examples of testers, like, reporting stuff and, like, finding bugs and just getting ignored. Not having this stuff fixed. So that is an issue on, like, the dev side. Like, yeah. I don't think a lot of that stuff comes down to the testers at all. Could some updates have been QA tested a little bit better? I'm sure.
Yeah.
But I don't like just going, the testers got to do better.
Yeah, I think the communication, I don't know how the communication is, but if the communication is, even, the communication has to be clear. Like,
based on what I know about Foxy, the communication probably is not clear.
It needs to be like, say you're updating the game, every time you update the game with a new hotfix, even if it's, in the testing place, you should tell the testers what you did. And
I'm sure that happens.
And if that I mean, it could happen. I don't know if it happens. I don't know if it doesn't happen. But if it doesn't happen, that's fundamentally pretty bad for the for the testers.
Obviously, a lot of this is us talking, not having any experience with this, because I've never been a tester.
Yeah. I've applied every single time that they've done the test applications. I've never been accepted. But, you know, okay. And I feel like, I don't know, the whole testing thing is just really weird. It's a really weird topic to get into because, first of all, we're not testers. We don't know anything about that. And then
like testing for bugs, I have to imagine, is kind of difficult.
It's difficult because you have to think outside the box.
You have to think about ways that people could break the game, and then you have to try them, see if it actually does break the game, and then report it, and then hope that it gets acknowledged, and then hope that it's something that can actually be like worked on and like easily fixed. And then if it's not, then it becomes a whole issue for the devs, and then it's a whole thing.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's so many problems where like you fix one thing, it breaks another thing, and then you're trying to like get the update finished still, and there's a lot that goes into it, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, and
so please don't take this as us trying to like crap on any of the people behind the scenes who are like working on this stuff. Like it's difficult.
Yeah,
I've done my fair share of like talking bad on devs in the past, which I'm not super happy about, but
yeah,
it's difficult.
Yeah, but like, yeah, and I've noticed that when you're a tester or a developer and you're making a game, the best it's really hard because you're never gonna be able to get all the bugs out. There's no way. There's always gonna be some sort of glitch, some sort of bug. It's never gonna be 100% polished, and you gotta know that. And the way of testing bugs and doing that is fundamentally hard. It's something where you don't play the game how it's normally played. Sure, like your first run, do a couple of them where you play the game. Say you're making an on rails maybe like a story game. You play through the story normally once, maybe twice, make sure and have that your testers do that, but then try and deviate from the path. Try and break the game as much as you possible. Try and glitch out of a area. Try to maybe a sequence skip the game, and that's what you would have to do. And even then, there's probably so many more things. A good perfect example of this is Portal.
Oh god, yeah. There's so many breaks in Portal that you can do.
The developers on Portal were pretty confident that they had a flawless game. They knew they had bugs in it, but they knew that, well, it's not game breaking. But then the save and load glitch, where you save your game and load inside a portal, it deloads the entire map around you, and you can just go through every wall, making speed runs of the game within minutes.
Yeah, to be fair, that type of stuff is pretty cool. It
is cool to look at, but I've seen developer commentary on it, and every single one of them is just, they're fascinated as the player, because it's cool, being able to master that, because it's very confusing. But yeah, the way the developers also say they're very mad at themselves because they couldn't find that, because it's such a very obvious thing that they don't know how it wasn't caught in QA testing.
Well, in hindsight, it always seems obvious, but then you think about it and you're like,
it's like,
in what situation would you think to save your game, stand in a portal, load out of the level, and load back into your save?
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure they definitely mess around with the save and load thing all the time, but I guess they just never looked at that. It's also the same with portal bumping, too. If you don't know what portal bumping is, in Chamber 16 is the turret chamber. I know this because I spent hours trying to get that achievement for the speed on it. What the tactic is do portal bump. If you don't know what portal bump is, you have a portal on the wall, and you have to shoot at the near the wall, and it will and you have to have a target assist on your portal, and you shoot a portal onto the side of that portal, and it'll kind of glitch you through the wall, and you can just go through the wall.
Sick.
It's really weird, and it's really interesting that I never knew that. I mean, it was really cool when I did that with my time trial on there. And yeah. But anyways,
yeah, that's
yeah, that could also be in the same case as Miner's Haven. Like, sure, in Reincarnation, they were like there were so many, like, the Catalyst Thunder. Like, sure, like, it's obvious that did they never test if that catalyst gave you 2 items? But then again, there's numerous catalysts. There's so many.
Yeah,
catalysts.
I'm sure they tested. That obviously they had to test some of the catalysts, and I'm sure they were like, they tested a few, and it's like, okay, yeah, catalyst system is working. We tested a few, everything works perfectly as expected.
Yeah.
And it's just a case of not going through and testing every single one of them, because you just kind of assume, like, yeah, the catalysts are working, we're good.
Yeah. Or it was a last minute decision. Last minute change that broke something. That happens too.
Or it could have been something where they tested it and it worked, and then they changed something later, and then that changed it, and they didn't retest it.
They never.
Or maybe it worked in the testing server, and then just didn't work when they published it, because that's also a thing. The testing server is just different from the main game sometimes.
Yeah, like when you upload stuff, copy the game from the testing server to the main game, it can sometimes break stuff that weren't broken in the testing server, and it can kind of just break a lot of things too. Like, I mean, one great example is, what was it? Can't remember. Exotic Day, was it? I think Exotic Day.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Exotic Day, when it first came out, didn't work.
It was working in the testing place, I think, because Brezza had a testing place, I believe. I don't know, though. I don't know.
Yeah, the testing server would have been a thing back then.
Yeah, and then he, I don't know, maybe copied the update or published update or whatever, and it was broken. It was just completely broken. It just didn't work.
Yeah, like items just didn't save.
Items,
you just
would have reward you on boxes.
Yeah, so a bunch of people lost out on. I was really lucky when the update first came out, because I couldn't play when it first dropped.
I wasted 50 Infernos, and all I got was 5 Infernos from that code that he gave out.
That sucks, dude.
I know.
I lucked out on Exotic Day, man. But if I had been playing it when it first came out, I'm cooked.
I lost some Exotic.
Dude, that's something. Whenever Third Sacrifice comes out, I don't think I'm gonna do the sacrifice right away. I'm gonna wait on it. You do the
Third Sacrifice, you go back to life 0.
You lose everything in your save. Yeah, I'm worried about that, because that could happen. They can do all
kill the game, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be ways to like recover
it. It would be probably a Roblox fault when they copy the game over.
Yeah, with weird like data store whatever issues.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wait on it though and make sure that nothing like that happens.
I'm probably gonna look at my shinies just to see, like, look at the railgun and see what it changed into.
Yeah, go through and just like see some of the different stuff that we still have.
Load my setup, see what happens if I load my setup. Oh my god, that'd be funny.
Just not functional at all.
It would
that's definitely what I'm gonna do.
But it would just be neat. Probably half the items in place.
Yeah, I'm sure the railguns aren't gonna work because they're not gonna be railguns anymore.
Yeah, they're gonna be just a plotted plant.
Yeah, a lot of this stuff is getting remodels too, actually. So it's gonna probably be different hitboxes and all that.
Yeah.
Weird like misaligned. Actually, most of the setup's just not even gonna load anyway because no hydraulic platforms. So there's just gonna be nothing.
Oh,
there's gonna be nothing for the setup to be placed on.
They're getting rid of hydraulics.
Hydraulic platforms.
Yeah.
Wow. As far as I know, yeah, hydraulic platforms are going. Like the regular,
my one
like
standard platform in my setup. I'm still here.
Yeah, but specifically hydraulic platforms, just because of the way that you can like.
The amount of outcry from some of the players when their sacrifice drops is gonna be insane. Of all the people wasting their shards on that stuff. And it's but
that's not gonna matter anyway because of Third Sacrifice. You're not gonna keep it.
Well, no, there's probably gonna be a lot of lower life players that are gonna be pissed. But it's like,
I guess that's true. Yeah.
Cope.
Yeah, just work through it. You only have to get to life 10k.
Only 10k. I mean,
Not that hard.
I don't know how hard it would be in third sacrifice, second sacrifice, anyways.
Well, I assume it wouldn't be that difficult because you still have like the final upgrader and stuff.
Yeah, I assume that you would do that, but like they're changing a lot of the stats of items. I don't know if that would make it harder or easier depending on it.
I'm sure it'll be harder, but it won't be hard. Like, you're still gonna be able to get through the lives. It'll be probably a little bit.
It'd be longer. It'd probably be longer, especially for those people who speedrun the game, who like to use colliders because colliders are gonna be removed, right? I'm pretty sure they are.
Either removed or they're not gonna work
functional
for like upgrading stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of people in second sacrifice lower lives gonna have their setups broken as well because a lot of them use colliders and cannons.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's
obviously gonna have to rebuild setups completely, but I don't expect that to be super difficult.
Oh yeah.
There'll definitely be people who do complain about it though, because it is like MH.
The MH community. I love the MH community.
I don't. I'm not even gonna like pretend and say I do. I don't. A lot of the people in this community kind of suck.
I mean, like the problem with this community is the fact that you got like it's so divisive in this community. There's a lot of divide in this community, and it's like you're either part of this community or you're part of this community. You're not really part of both.
Yeah, you're like in the high life group who thinks that the game is way too easy all the time, and you complain about everything, or you're a little 8-year-old who can't get through their first life and thinks that it's super hard.
Yeah. Which is
or you're a cringy YouTuber who also complains about everything and makes bad videos. This is a self call out. I'm not talking about you.
Nah. Nah, that's me too.
We are the cringy YouTuber group.
Yeah, like one thing that it's so sad about me in the YouTube landscape is that I started becoming a little bit more popular in one of the worst times of Miners Haven.
Oh yeah, you've come in at a terrible time.
I started making content in 2019, but I only started getting popular after the experience videos, and then it's just I went into the landscape. Nobody's here in the YouTube landscape. Nobody's here. They're all gone.
Yeah, it's not great, but I mean, hey, you've at least put your foot in the door before Third Sacrifice gets here, so you're already established for when that comes out.
I hope. I mean, the thing about Third Sacrifice, my plan is that I'm gonna let the other YouTubers get their stream out of the way, get their first live tutorial out of the way.
Yeah,
get their
for all the first day content that's gonna be coming out.
Yeah, because my content style is gonna once Third Sacrifice comes out, I'm gonna switch back to my 2021 style of content, which if you don't know, if you've never seen my content style, 2021 was my experience video year. That's when I just did experience videos, and I didn't really do talking. I was still gonna do normal videos like Road to Sacrifice and all that stuff in there as well at Miners Haven Flash and Past, but I'm also probably going to be doing majority of my content is going to be experience videos and moving back to that because I lost a lot of, I don't have anything to make content on in experience videos right now, and that's the reason why I moved on to recording my face cam and all that stuff, and that's why I'm going to be changing it. And that's just the way that my content was established, and that's the way that I want my content to be. The reason why I've switched it up is just because it's
all you can do right now.
It's all I can do right now.
Yeah, I think I'm probably gonna be the guy to just do all the to stuff that you would expect to see, the tutorials and stuff.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of I've kind of put myself into that position where that's what I do.
Yeah.
But when Reincarnation came out, the first week of that was me putting out item reviews and tutorials for stuff.
Yeah, I used to do that, and I don't do that anymore. If
you can only have you can only have so many people make that type of video. And at the time, I was doing it because I was like the big guy who was doing the tutorial videos.
Yeah. And
if someone was like also doing it, then it would be kind of redundant. But I was like the main guy putting like item reviews and stuff out there.
Yeah, and I was doing that too. Actually, I think I was doing it before you did it, but because you were bigger, they kind of flew under the radar. And also my
that just
terrible back then.
Mine also wasn't great, but I at least had like decent enough editing, and I also knew what I was talking about, which helped.
Yeah, and I mean I knew what I was talking about too, but yeah, the only type of
you just took the L from like the algorithm.
The algorithm hated me. I had my own special little secluded community. It was very like it was, died really fast because I didn't post anything in 2020. So, well, I did post stuff in 2020, but I didn't post anything in like, summer and beyond until like May of 2021 when I did my experience video.
Yeah.
Which I wasn't even going to do experience videos on Miners Haven. I was pretty much for all extensive purposes, I was done with Miners Haven. I was never going to come back to the game. And until I was making experience videos, if you know my experience videos, I was making those for Call of Duty Zombies.
Oh really? I haven't seen your other. I know I watched the MH experience because that popped up in my recommended. I never saw your other ones.
Yeah, I made those on my other channel, my alternate channel. They're
that's why I didn't see them.
They're unlisted now. But
that makes sense.
But then like I was talking to my friends, and then Chad Mugen, one of my friends that I've known for a while, I said like, what if we've always played Miners Haven together, and we were taking a break from Miners Haven. We were playing, I don't know, probably Terraria at the time. I don't know. And because we were done with the game. But then I was like, what if I made a Miners Haven experience video like I did with the Call of Duty Zombies? And I think he literally said that, you know what, that's not a bad idea. And then I did it, and then here I am today.
Yeah, we would not be talking if it weren't for that. So, I mean, honestly, the worst decision that you've made, really. Now you have
true.
Do a podcast
I
with
regret
me.
it. I regret it to this day. Trust me, I know.
God, yeah. With YouTube for me, I just like I got in at the right time. Like I started streaming again after the Halloween update came out, like right when Miners Haven got revived at the end of 2019.
Yeah, that's
so I did a couple streams then, but then right when Centillions came out, like the night that it came out, I had my Centillion stream that I did where I got it. I was one of the first like 50 or like in the top like 100
I think I was the
people
50th person, one like the 51st or something like that. I think I was like one of those.
Yeah, I think it was probably before 50 then. So I remember getting it pretty early on, and then I also just like people were just like shouting about the stream.
Yeah,
I got carried by the shouts. I got carried by people like shouting me out and giving me free advertising.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean,
and
I shout my stream out once every time I stream, just so I can at least alert some of my other viewers that are on that I am streaming.
Yeah. Yeah, I never like to shout my own stuff out, or I don't like to shout myself, but if someone shouts about the stream, then I'm like, hey, thanks. And then I usually get like a couple of viewers from it.
Yeah. And then I remember back in December, I think I did a stream, and then I think Sapphire shouted my stream out on the Miners Haven Shouts, and she's a shout mod, so people try to listen to shout mods,
Yeah.
And then I think I boosted up to like 32 viewers right away.
Yeah.
I think Rose was also in my Rose Gold would join my chat.
Nice.
And yeah, I just that was a moment indeed.
Big moment right there.
Yeah, and then I gained like 12 subscribers, right there.
Nice.
So it was pretty neat. It was pretty bonkers, you know.
Yeah. By the way, if you're still watching this podcast, I don't think we were talking about it beforehand. Cryog is almost at 1K.
Oh yeah.
Please subscribe to Cryog, please. Get him to 1K.
I am
get that big 1,000.
Closer and closer, inching my way up to 1,000, and when I do, I will get some funny videos out. So yeah, that'd be pretty epic.
Yeah, that'll be good. Good times.
It'll be a very good time.
Yeah, only 38 subs away.
38?
That's what it says for me. You're at 962.
Oh my god!
At least on the public.
I gained a subscriber while recording the podcast.
Yo, let's go!
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Huge.
But I think that's a great moment to end the podcast here.
We got a little bit derailed from talking
about
MH
derailed,
ripoffs,
but like I think the main topic was first Binders Haven mods, and then it kind of like it was like a three block segment thing, where first segment was Binders Haven mods, second segment was the testing and the Miners Haven testing and Miners Haven third sacrifice and all that stuff, and then third segment was Miners Haven YouTube and just the YouTube landscape of Miners Haven.
Yeah, which is not good right now.
It's not good because the game's not getting updates, and that makes sense.
Yeah, that's just how it goes. There's not a whole lot that you can do with Miners Haven.
Yeah.
I am gonna be posting a different kind of video soon here whenever I get the chance to edit it together. When I was streaming yesterday, were you here for it when I built the house?
No, I had to go to Costco.
Hang on, I'm gonna set it in the pod chat real quick. You can show it on the screen if you care to edit it in.
Yeah, okay.
I built myself a funny Miners Haven house.
Oh, nice. But oh wow, that's actually really nice.
Yeah, I tried to make it actually look decent. So I'm gonna be turning that into a video because I think that's I've wanted to do like a Miners Haven building video for a while.
Yeah.
I did it on stream finally. Threw together a little house. I fully like furnished interior too.
Yeah. I will actually send this a file on the podcast right there. There it is. If you guys want to see it, it's right there.
Also, you can wait for whenever the video comes out too.
Yes.
'Cause I will be at some point making a video about it. I don't know when it's gonna happen. Full-time work is a lot.
Yeah.
And when I've got the MH podcast to do, and then also Pod of the Dead, it's you know.
Oh yeah, it's the grind. It's the.
I'm on that grind, guy. Because I wake up at 7, I go to work and get home at 6:30, and then when I get home at 6:30, I'm tired, and I pretty much for 2 of my days I don't even have like an evening at all.
Yeah.
And then my friends will yell at me to play games on the other days. I'm probably gonna have to turn them down this week if I want to get this video done, or it's not gonna get done until the weekend.
See, that's the problem with content creation, is that sometimes you do have to, like, your friends ask you to play games and you have to turn them down because you have to make this content. Like, I struggle making content sometimes. Like, I can go like a week without making a video without even realizing, because I've been playing games with my friends and just haven't had time, and when I finish playing games with my friend, I'm too tired to make a video.
Yeah, and it's also, you gotta find that balance where, like, you don't want to abandon your friends, but also you want to get content out.
Yeah, I've had a video being recorded and ready to be edited for over a week now, and I just haven't gone around editing because it's an experience video, so it's going to take like 5 to 6 hours of editing to actually get it out.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
That's something that it's gonna be like, I have to like hunker down and do it.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyways, we were gonna end this podcast Anyway, so we're gonna end that with, well, yeah, we're just gonna end it.
Yeah, our funny little YouTuber discussion.
Our YouTuber discussion. If you want to be a Miners Haven YouTuber,
Don't.